Welcome to the Time to Talk podcast. Time to talk Diddy updates, Diddy accusers, Diddy victims, Diddy this, Diddy that. Yes, he did. So there's another accuser. I believe her case was filed in July. Adria English. Now, I saw this earlier today, and I wanted to follow up on it just to see what this was about. Who is this? What's the latest on this? What's the news? This one here, I think, requires a little more research, but I wanted to talk about it because I'm like, what is the thing here, right? So this, just to give you background, this young lady, Adria English, is saying she's part of the Diddy thing, the whole, whatever you want to call that now, the freak off, the Diddy lifestyle back in the day, back in the 90s. They're in the heyday of Sean Diddy, Puffy Combs reign, right? Bad boy reign, the white parties and all that stuff. So this young lady is saying that, well, first of all, let's just a little background. She's from California. She got into porn with Jake Steed, former porn actor. She got into porn with him. It was her boyfriend at the time, she says, and he he manipulated her into it. Take that with a grain of salt, all right? He manipulated her into it. Then she had a boyfriend in New York or whatever. In California, they went to New York, and he was a model, and apparently he was going to model for Sean John, and then Diddy asked him to perform an act on him, and he got angry and stormed out of the Sean John offices and whatever, but then later on, he ended up working for Sean John. There's some inconsistencies in two different interviews that I watched on YouTube. Very small, very minor, but enough to make you question things, right? She apparently ended up working the Diddy parties and was aware of the situation. She outright says that she was doing stuff. She was there as a favor, party favors. She was there doing stuff, and she was of age. Just want to put that out there as well. Because the bigger thing around this whole Diddy thing for me are the amount of people that were underage who were taken advantage of, the young women, Allie Carters, those people and all that sickening stuff to me is more the case here. This young lady, not to discredit or demean any of her, whatever she finds that is, suffering or some sort of trauma that she may have went through, I just want to make it really clear. It's totally different to identify with this when you have a young woman who is basically telling you, yeah, I did this, I did that. I was a stripper. I was basically prostituting, and I was a groupie, and I was at these parties. I drank liquor that I knew was going to get me messed up. I had fun. I did it anyway. So I'm just trying to figure out, and please feel free, shout me out in the comments, correct me, let me know. I'm trying to figure out how that falls into the realm of somehow she was taken advantage of. She deserved money. She deserves money and compensation to make her life right. To me, this doesn't sound right. Okay, this doesn't sound right to me. This is a situation where you've got, let's put it this way. There are plenty of females and males. I want to be clear, both. All right, since we know the situation and the preference of Diddy and company, there were plenty of females and males who attended those parties willingly, knowingly, without any influence or any coercion, who enjoyed themselves, who had a good time. There were plenty of people who went to those parties, who attended those parties and worked those parties either for financial gain or for reputational gain or whatever it was, to meet celebrities, hang out with celebrities, say they slept with a celebrity, say they did this with a celebrity, whatever it is, whatever reason they have, whatever they got out of it. There are plenty of people who were there just for that back in the 90s. And I'm not faulting these people. I'm not judging them. I'm not putting judgment on them. I'm not saying, oh, you did this at a Diddy party makes you a bad person or a lesser than. I'm not calling you names. I'm pointing out the obvious fact that there were plenty of women who had a great time at these Diddy parties, who went there specifically with the intent of engaging in sexual activity with men, with other women, with whatever it was, for financial gain or for some sort of advancement. Okay, this young lady is one of them, clearly. Now, The first interview I came across was with her manager. So I didn't even find any interview. I found one other one on a smaller a podcast channel. But the first one I found was with this Lionel B or whatever his name is, who turned out to be, when I looked into it, turned out to be her manager. So he's sort of promoting the interview and promoting her story. So I can't really take that too serious. I listened to everything. I listened to 2 different interviews. And I'm just here to say, because one of the things she mentioned at the end of the interview was, what are you looking for? What are you trying to get out of this? Money. She said it outright. Right? She said it outright. I mean, she tried to cover it with, justice for the victims, but essentially she's looking for a payday. Now I want to be really, really clear, because y'all know my stance on this. I have already done an entire video regarding Allie Carter and how I feel about that, and about people not automatically siding, or I should say, people just instantly assuming that every victim that comes forward is looking for a payday, and we shouldn't believe them. I don't think that's not what's happening here, especially in the Diddy situation. I think in the Diddy situation, it has clearly been proven, especially after that whole Cassie incident and the videotape. I think everyone that comes forward, we should probably embrace, and we should listen to their stories. And I have sympathy for all of them, specifically the minors, specifically the amount of kids that are being trafficked. And these cases are still going unrecognized, like the Allie Carter case. I only bring up Allie Carter. There's more. There are more. This young lady talks about a different girl in this. It's like a food buffet, a 14-year-old. We know there are more. So we need more active investigations into all this. So this is not a matter of me saying, here's another victim looking for a payday and that's it. I'm trying to discredit these young. No, I'm simply pointing out that by her own admission, she was a female involved in a particular lifestyle who made it her business to be at these parties and had a good time. I don't understand how that turns into, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was just there to meet somebody. Next thing you know, I woke up. I was drugged. I wasn't aware what I was drinking. She makes it very clear that she was drinking the drugged alcohol, and she did it on purpose. She was directed to, and she did. And then she continued. So, people, when these Diddy accusers come up, just take everything, like look at everything in its total essence, right? Let's be mindful about these things. Now, if there's more evidence and there's more things that come out, and somehow this woman deserves to be vindicated, like in other words, something else proves, something else shows up that lends merit to her accusations of abuse or something, which I didn't even really hear many accusations of abuse. She laid everything out as if she was a willing participant in a lifestyle, and then at the end is looking for compensation for what? Look, people, if you haven't figured it out by now, I just lay it out for you straight. That's like me saying, I'm going to go to a place on purpose. They're going to pay me $1,000. I'm going to go. I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do, have fun. I'm going to drink. I know I'm being drugged. And then I'm going to keep doing it and go over and over and over and over again. And then years later, I'm going to say, oh, I was coerced. No, I wasn't. Anyway, I personally have a problem with this one. And the reason why I'm doing the video, and in case you're wondering why I'm making a case out of this, because I'm not picking on her, but I'm making a point to say that people are going to scroll through and listen to this girl's story. And I've already seen the comments, and I've already seen the titles and the clickbait that's out there suggesting she's another victim, another accuser steps out. Big news. She reveals so much. She didn't reveal anything other than the fact that she was a chick who was a stripper or half a porn star and was down with the lifestyle and went to Diddy parties and had a ball doing it. Yeah, she names names here and there and says some stuff and gives some recollection of things that took place at a party. But people, look, man, I personally feel that stuff like this takes away from the real stuff. That's how I feel. That's why I'm doing the video, and that's why I'm saying it. And again, it's no offense towards the young lady. This ain't about judging her. This ain't about judging her manager, whatever it is. It's about saying there are real victims. There are young females and males who were coerced, who were threatened or blackmailed or were drugged and were giving alcohol and drug-laced baby oil and such like that, who are underage. That is the stuff we should really be focusing on. I'm sorry. You're not going to get me to shed a tear for any female or male, again, who lived it up in the Hamptons or the Diddy parties, wherever it was, LA, Miami, I don't care, and is telling you that they partied, had a good time, knew they were using drugs, had a good time, had fun, made money, did what they were doing, and now they're claiming that they're a victim. Like that's just an obvious one as far as I'm concerned. That's an obvious one. Anyway, take it how you take it. Time to Talk podcast. You know, I like to discuss these things and get into the Diddy updates because it is news. And this one in particular, I just thought required some analysis and required some real discussion because I just don't. I don't see this. Again, we'll wait to see if anything else. Not to mention, in a closing note, which I almost forgot, her attorney, Ariel Mitchell Kidd, dropped this young lady. Apparently, she's combative or couldn't work with the attorney. The attorney is trying to, take her case in something, and this girl was doing some other stuff and not being easy to work with or looking to set her own strategy to get the money or whatever it was that she's looking for. So, take it all with a grain of salt. Just be mindful that there are real victims. There are real young ladies and real young men who have suffered at the hands of this man. And we need to be more invested in finding those stories, allowing those people to speak up, allowing their voices to be heard, and questioning the authorities and questioning the people that be the powers that be as to why they have not actively created real substantial investigations into finding out what's going on and what is still going on today when it comes to sex trafficking and dealing with these minors. That's what we need to pay attention to. All right. So stuff like this, come on, man. That's it. Time to Talk podcast. If you know about this, you've seen this interview, you've heard this young lady, go ahead and leave me the comments below and tell me what you think. All right, you tell me if I'm dead wrong or you share the same opinion I have. Like the video on the way out. I truly appreciate that. And subscribe if you've not yet subscribed. We talk about this stuff, talk about politics, latest news, trending stuff, whatever. All right. People who've already subscribed, truly appreciate you. We are just getting started. I'll see you on the next Time to Talk podcast. Peace.